thank you very much for that detailed explanation. I'll be quite brief and just go over the politics of how I see it. Coming from landlocked Shropshire, when as Michael Howard asked me to be the shadow secretary, no, the shadow junior minister was it back in 2005, I knew absolutely zero about fishing. So it was extraordinarily interesting, going all around the British Isles, the coast. So we went to Kent, all down the West Country, went to Scotland, went to Wolsey, went to Northern Ireland. And then I thought it would be interesting to learn from other countries. It was so obviously being badly run. There's probably no better example in a very, very competitive field for the most incompetent area of government under European legislation. And they've been really, really, really bad in many areas, but I think fishing does actually pivot. So I'd been to the Falklands, and I then went, going keep it geographical, east to west, I went Norway, Faroes, Iceland, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and down the east coast of the United States. And I wrote a paper, this is way back, 2005, on how you'd run a sane fisheries policy. Because what I saw in these countries, pretty well everywhere, were thriving fishing communities, people gainfully employed, generating wealth and income, and, really importantly, improving their marine environment. Absolutely none of that could apply to the idiocies that I saw being imposed on our fishermen all around our different coasts. And it seemed to me the most basic fact was that our scientists and our politicians, however benign they were and however intelligent, could not know what was going on. It was impossible because, as Al very clearly explained, we chuck back at the moment, we don't know, 1 million tonnes a year probably, 25%, 30%, 40%, we don't know what gets chucked back. So what was clear was that our scientists, advising our politicians, were working on data which was guaranteed absolutely categorically to be completely inaccurate and about 6 months out of date. So compare that to when I was in the Falklands, where they were going after one species, and they had very accurate reporting. Every night, every boat had to report in, and it was analysed, I think it was University College London or Imperial College, and then they were radioed back the next day whether they could carry on fishing that particular area or move on. I remember Iceland, and this is a long time ago now, this is 2005. This is a long time ago. Iceland, they were moving boats on at an hour's notice. And the place I was really taken by was the Faroes, because they said, you land everything. And I remember the minister saying to me very clearly, we may not like what we're told, but at least we know it's accurate, we can make decisions. And the other issue I found really upsetting was the sort of hostility to technology. Selected gear was coming in, it was very much being used in the United States. I went to Manomet, where they were doing some really interesting research. And I remember the then Labour minister, who loathed me, a guy called Ben Bradshaw, coming up to me after a vote quietly saying, what's this place you've been to in Massachusetts? What is this about selected gear? And in fairness to Ben, he's trying to learn, and I gave him the address, I don't know if he went there or what. But it was bizarre to find that our ministers and our fishermen were not allowed to use these sort of technologies, where some species escape up and escape down, etc. You all know how that works. So I've sort of kept in touch. When I was doing Northern Ireland, I remember Prince of Wales coming to do a visit, and it was on selected gear again, and they'd Kilkeel, they'd developed some selected gear. They weren't allowed to use it as part of the European Union. I remember in the referendum, going down to Sherrill's Patch, we did an event at Loo. The most graphic illustration there of the incompetence of the whole regime, which is incredibly simple. Lovely place, Loo. Lots of tourists go down. It's a very good reason, good place to go. And on the harbour master's wall, there was one of those metal signs with pictures of fish for ignorant tourists from Shropshire like me, showing what they all were. Nice picture of a condom of them. gone out, we've been talking to the fishermen, the biggest problem they had were catching haddock, for which they had absolutely no quota. So they were just heaving all these haddock straight back in the sea. What was fascinating was the harbour master did not have a picture of a haddock on his nice tin plate. Because when they put up the tin plate a few years ago, there weren't any. But as Alan's sign shows here, we're dealing with the natural environment. These things swim around, they move about, temperatures change, currents change. And the whole merit, I thought, of the Faroe system, and I'm not completely blind to it, to copying them completely. I think what Alan's come up with this catch composition will probably ameliorate some of its worst aspects. The key thing, though, is to land everything, to know what's happening. When your man, the harbour master in Loo, could not have his tin picture on the wall if he'd been landing everything. But everyone that had been caught locally then was being chucked back in the sea. So I don't think, I don't want to go on too long. It is absolutely simple for me, this. There are various absolutely iconic issues when we come to Brexit. Everyone knows that the fishing industry was, at the time, a big employer, it generated income in very remote areas, don't forget. These are really remote areas without a lot of assets. But we have this extraordinary sea which can regenerate, a constantly wealth-generating asset. And I think everybody across the UK understands that the fishermen were absolutely shamefully treated. They were sold out at the last minute. And it's basically an issue of trust, that having won the referendum, and the message was very simple, it was take back control. And when we were down in Loo, we were there with our boat leave stickers on, we made it absolutely clear, we promised people, when we said take back control, we meant take back control. That means to 200 miles, the whole EEZ, or the median line. If you're someone like poor old Paul Joy, who I went to see, I remember, at Hastings, who was absolutely shamefully treated. And that was an absolute classic case that control there, local knowledge. I remember him telling me there was a resident population of cops swim around under the Channel Ferries in the Channel, but he was lumped in with a larger area, and because of the extraordinary way this quota system works, he'd been penalised and fined quite heavily. I remember that, it was a really bad visit. So all these people, we were saying, we will take back control. I was talking earlier at the Bruges Group, and I really mean it. If we do not take back control, we do not deliver what the 17.4 million people voted for, and of course all those who voted Conservative, when we promised leave the single market, leave the customs union, leave the ECJ, and we nearly all tacked on CAP and CFP when we were speaking during the referendum, and in the general election, there would be the most shattering disillusion with our political establishment, with our judicial establishment, with our commercial establishment, and the media establishment. Actually, they're going to get clobbered by this too. So this is a really, really iconic issue. It will bring, if we did take back control, we brought in some of the measures that Alan's talked about, and I was down in the Channel just about a month ago. There's absolutely no doubt that in our fisheries we need local control, we need to bring in modern techniques, we need to absolutely not repeat the mistakes of the quota system. There are ways around the quota system. You could do some sort of data sea effort control. It might work for pelagics right up in the north east of Scotland, but in a mixed fisheries, you've got to have some form of effort control, I think, where everything is landed. And responsibility locally. So local fishermen who've bought into this, who've there for generations, who are not going to trash their inheritance. That is the way to do it. And I think quite rapidly, and this is what is so upsetting, was going to these coastal communities, see these towns. The wealth has gone. It would come back quite quickly, I think. It would be really quite surprising how quickly we could bring this back. And then the locals get on with it and grow their local economy and improve their local marine environment. So it is extraordinarily important that we do really take back control next March. And Chequers is completely unacceptable. Chequers is absolutely disastrous on this front. All the reasons that Alan explained. The discard ban would carry on. We would get completely squeezed between two rocks and a hard place. The answer is to take back control. And if I was the Secretary of State, very rapidly do some violence. It may not be perfect what's being proposed on days at sea, but it's got to be a hell of a sight better than the idiocies of the quota system. And it is completely pointless taking back control and just repeating the nonsenses of the CFP. So I would appeal to you all, you've got a chance here, you will bump into cabinet ministers, junior ministers, everyone else at fringe meetings. This is your moment. It's a really critical 2 or 3 days. They have got to drop Chequers, because Chequers does not take back control. Thank you very much.